Good morning, good afternoon, hello, good evening. It's Laura Ward in Somatic Mat. I hope that you enjoy yourself. Please listen to your own body. Most important thing at all times. Temperance. Don't go nuts with this. Work at a level that's sustainable. In today's class, we're going to be working with a chair. So if you have a chair, especially like a folding chair, go get your chair. Also, we'll probably do a little bit of weights. I just use 3-pound weights and I have a little block as well. So if you got that stuff, get it. Okay, so we're going to start with a chair. And I've been just watching a lot of Andrew Huberman, who is this, now I know who he is. He's a professor and a neurobiologist and an optometrist or whatever. Optician, I don't know, eyes. And it's interesting because I'm listening to all this neuroscience and I'm like, oh, I do that. Oh yeah, I do that. Like my body and my relationship with my body have taught me a lot of things that I didn't need to know the hard science for. It's like, so part of it is about upregulation and downregulation. And some people need more upregulation, more, and some people need more, calm down. Marie Christine, you're in, you just sent me a message. So the upregulation, we can do it with breath, and we can also do the downregulation with breath. But a lot of it is also, if we think about checking out our environment so we feel safe, this can calm us down. I got totally distracted because of that text coming in. Where was I? It doesn't even matter. Let's just get moving. Just follow Andrew Huberman. Some of his stuff is really interesting, and it's really about how our body processes, how we can upregulate, how we can downregulate, who needs that. Like clearly I'm a very upregulated person. I've got a lot of energy. And so sometimes I need to do more calming work, but we all need all of it. We need a variety, different parts of the day. We need different things. So we're actually going to start here on our chairs. I always like to start with breath because it is the thing that we have access to all the time. And I'm sitting in a very wide stance. I'm going to inhale, reach. Imagine that you're just gathering in. There you go. You muted yourself. I'm going to mute everybody else. And so don't worry, you don't need to mute yourself because I'm doing it. There we go. Imagine that you're gathering in like inspiration. And then on the exhale, let's go sparkle fingers down. So you're kind of shaking out. Well, this isn't even sparkle fingers. This is shake out. Inhale, expand, get bigger, reach out and up, and then exhale. Let's go sparkle fingers this time. So David Bowie moment. And then inhale, reach it out and up, and exhale, sparkle fingers, like you're maybe even combing through the environment around you. And one more, inhale, fill up, expand, up, 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 reach and open, and exhale, taking it down. So even just those ideas of taking it up, that's going to upregulate you. Taking it down, that's going to downregulate you. Like we can just use the vertical to find this. So this is the theme of the year. Grounded in wonder. So grounded means I'm connected to the floor. I feel my feet on the floor. I feel the earth under me. I'm not floating away. But for me, wonder is very much out here. So this is an idea of finding a balance where we can work between, I need more energy, I need to take it up, or I need to come in for a landing, I need to take it down. So we can just use words like up or down or open or closed. Sometimes we need to be open, opening into the world, and sometimes we need to come into ourselves and close in. And it's not, sometimes people think, oh, if open is good and closed is bad. Not necessarily. Sometimes we need that. We need to come into ourselves. In the winter, we need to shut it down a little bit more. It's not as light outside, right? We have more time to be internal. All right, Leksha, Ova, turning from side to side. Let's go with your head so that you're starting to spiral you're spiraling your whole spine. And you can take one hand, slide it down your leg, and one hand sliding up towards your hip. Adding the breath. Inhale to center, exhale as you twist. And I can feel this in my rib cage, lungs, and like I've got this little teeny bit of a restriction in here. So when I get deeper into that spiral, I'm like, I can feel things coming online. Our organs are supposed to slip and slide around each other. We don't want them forming adhesions. So if we don't move enough, then our fascia is likely to form sort of little adhesions in between organs. And I've seen it. I'm a liver that was adhesed to a diaphragm. And it shouldn't be. It should be like two slippery balloons that are moving against each other. So we want to use movement and fluid movement to hydrate the tissue, but also to create these sliding surfaces that are not getting gummed up on each other. And I also want to point out that this movement that we were doing is very much in the vertical plane. So this is vertical plane. Here I am, I'm connecting to heaven and earth, it's me. And then this, if I spiral, let's add arms, we're in the horizontal plane. And this is kind of sharing and caring in the environment. We can change our state just by moving from the vertical into the horizontal. What does it feel like? Just notice how you feel when you're here. And what does it feel like here? Or even taking it down. Yeah, so just tuning into that. So you're building the awareness to know, oh, vertical plane. Here, it's very much, here I am in this vertical plane, connecting heaven and earth. And then here we are at the round table, gathering and scattering information, sharing and caring. You know, if you need more other people in your life, you may want to do some of this gathering and scattering business, sharing and caring. If you need more energy on yourself, self-care, whatever it is, you might want to come more into the vertical. You might want to find your inspiration, find your wonder, and plant it. All right. So let's go with some really big side. I'm going to stretch out and over, and then the other way, letting the organs move, head, tail moving. And if you feel like it, not even just if you feel like it, even if you don't feel like it, try adding like a, add some sound to it. Big inhale, reach it out. So this is what I learned. If you're a very aroused person, a double inhale with a big exhale is a great way to come back in. And it's something that I've done naturally all my life, is like a lot of like I've needed a lot of big sighs. And I noticed that other people don't do it so much. I'm like, so yeah, let yourself have that big sound, and know that when your body wants to do something, it's intelligent. It's wanting to do that thing for a reason. It's doing something for your system that your system probably needs. But we've learned how to not do that stuff so much. We've learned how to inhibit our systems. I mean, that's what happens in school. That's what happens in our family. Shut up, be quiet, sit down. All right, let's take this into this spiral. It's going to take me a minute to figure it out because I always sort of forget. It's a spiral and a twist. How does it go? Okay, yeah, so we're going to start with a spiral, which then just takes you facing front. You're going to drop your hand down like you're dipping it in the water, lift and arch, looking at the ceiling, and then you're going to take the hand back, spiral, twist, look around behind you, and if you want to, you can pick up the back foot, and you come back over. Oh, I know how it goes. It goes sideways, down, circle the arm back. Now I'm getting it. Choreography, coming back in, spiraling around, lift your back foot. You can open through the horizontal plane, side stretch, change that into the sagittal, forward, backward, take it down, change the arm direction, nice big arm circle up, arch and open and spiral. Look around behind you. This somehow is like my Greek urn position when that leg comes up. Yeah, serve the sandwiches to all your friends. Side stretch, turn your body, take it down, look toward the floor. Circle the arm up and back. This is a cambre. Arch, open your heart and lungs, and then spiral, twist, Greek urn moment. Serve the sandwiches to all your friends. Oh, sorry, side stretch. Take it down, face the floor, surrender. and then circle the arm up and back and spiral around, look behind you. Serve the sandwiches. Side stretch, turn and face the floor. Dip your fingers in the water, dip them in the water again. Arch and open your heart and lungs. Arm spirals around, lift the back leg, look towards your toes. Serve the sandwiches. So we keep shifting from one plane into the other as we do this. It's really three-dimensional. Let's do it one last time. Side stretch, turn to face your leg, face the floor, dip your fingers in the water, sweep up and open. Look at the ceiling, spiral around, look at your back foot, serve the sandwiches to all your friends. Sideways, turn, take it down, sweep it out and up, open and spiral, twist, and then serve the sandwiches and come back into center. And that has a lot of stuff in it. You could do it much smaller. I like go full out with that because it feels good in my body. But depending on where you are in your day, in your life, in your injuries, non-injuries, you may want to adjust things there. She tells you finally. Hands on your knees. We're going to drop our heads down, roll down, reach out, lift your chest, lift your heart. You can spread your fingers and also spread your toes. So my toes are doing this. Arch up, and then fingers and toes go down to the floor. Let me adjust the camera so you can see my feet. Maybe they kind of blend in with the carpet. How are we doing this? Are we arching? Are we curling? Curling down, reach out, spread out the fingers, spread out the toes, arch your back, look to the ceiling, and then round, toes and fingers go down, back curls, you reach it down, reach it out, arch, splay the fingers on the toes, look up, and then curl and take it down. So you can think of your hands and your feet, like if my hands and feet are doing the same thing as my back, this is the arch, toes are up, hands are, this is the arch, and this is the curl. This is the arch, this is the curl. So that we're getting that doming movement in our, also in the, like the tissue of our hands, arching and curling. I feel like when we put these ideas into our body that, oh, my hand's just doing what my back's doing, it makes it a lot easier to coordinate what's happening. All right, so let's change that. We're going to arch down. So fingers and toes are splayed, you're arching, open, open, open. When you need to, surrender, drop, and release, and then roll it up, coming all the way up to the top. Everything spreads out, open, open. Take it down in the arch. Fingers, toes, head, drop down, roll it up. And radiate outward. Everything radiated out. Tail is reaching back, chest is reaching forward. At the bottom, let go, soften, and curl and roll it up. Arch, this is my bastardization of a Julio Horvath exercise from Gyrokinesis. Lots of great stuff in Gyrokinesis. All right, let's do a circle with your heart, lungs, and chest. So circling around. But you know, it's funny because people develop these systems and act like they just invented the wheel. And it's like, you know, movement has been around and other people have done versions of that movement. So yeah. Change direction. Although there are some very intelligent systems of movement of how they work together. And I will say that I think gyrokinesis is a very intelligent system, but all of that movement came from other ideas. It didn't just like pop out of Zeus's leg like Dionysus. And then come in, and I feel like I need to turn again. So we did that circling, right? So this was like our rib cage and diaphragm having that mobility in the, let's just take our hands there. We'll turn after this. So take your hands, they're right at the bottom of the ribs. Here comes the cat. And circle just a little smaller. So you feel the movement of your diaphragm, you feel the movement of your rib cage, lungs, heart. And if you give your organs that extra invitation to release and slide around, change direction, they will probably get more mobility. And it's not like we want them all over. Like you don't want your spleen popping up into your brain or anything like that. You just want them to be able to move against each other. And then come in and let's get that spiral, just easy. Taking it in the head, side to side, looking around. So this was one thing I also learned as a micro recuperation. Micro recuperation, like after you've done something, you've been in the meeting or you've been doing something intense, going to your phone and doing more internal focus is not going to be helpful. But taking the focus out, we would say in Laban, opening up into indirect space. So indirect space is like taking in the space around you, all of the space. Like if you were looking at the starry sky, oh, can you see all the stars? That is like bringing your attention into indirect space. Pinpointed focus is direct space, where boom, this is the thing. And the more that we sort of play with that, access to expanding out into this broad global open focus, or being able to really just tune in. It's almost like you're developing these muscles or this awareness to shift between these states. And they're going to do different things for your nervous system. And you don't need to stay there forever. It's not like, oh, I need to go into wonder and just get lost there for days. Not at all. You just go out and then you come back in. Like it can be micro. What exciting things can we do on the chair? Let's actually get off of seated with the chair. And I'm going to turn my chair so that you can see me sideways. Put my hands on it, stick out my butt, and play with free flow spinal movement. Letting everything free up, listening in, seeking novel movement. So new movement to invite in new patterning, to invite in healing, change, recuperation from the old pattern. And so let's add the theta breath to this. It's a soft hiss, a soft legs can bend, elbows can bend, shoulders can mobilize. Head-tail connection, head-tail freedom, freeing up the river of the spine. As I'm freeing up the river of the spine, my feet also kind of want to releve and lower. So let your whole body free up. Not worrying what you look like. Not worrying about what you look like, letting it be whatever feels interesting. And then letting that come to a rest. Stand up for a second. And if you have a little bit of space to walk around, just walk around your room, feel your feet connecting to the floor and feel whatever kind of surface you're on. So I'm on a carpet, I've got socks on. I can go onto the hardwood floor, I can feel the difference of that. Let your tissue of the sole of your feet spread out and then come back into itself as you walk. So you're spreading and pulling it back, feeling how your heel hits the floor, how you move through your feet, feeling what your toes do. Think of giving them lots of space. So toes having the capacity to really spread out. For some reason, I think women, I don't know, I was certainly somehow conditioned to think that my feet should be really small. And my feet are not small. I have like an 8.5 or a 9. But I know I would sometimes, I would look at shoes and go, do my feet look small enough in those? Now I'm kind of on the other side. Like my grandma's feet got bigger and bigger and bigger. Her nose got bigger, her ears got bigger, and her feet got bigger. And she lived to be 105.5. So like we need to have space. Not that I want my nose and my ears and my feet to be big, but this idea of small feet, what is that about, right? Like let your feet take up some space. We don't want to squish them in and have these little mincing, claws to move around on. We want these expansive, expressive, mobile feet. Not that they just splatch out and stay like that, but they have mobility, right? That's going to be a lot of health in our knees and hips. So if our feet are all squished up and they're not getting much mobility, our knees are going to have to take a lot more of the hard stuff. Let's get our mats and come down to the floor. So get rid of your chair. taking it down. Let's go all the way down to the floor. You're gonna lay on your back. See if I can, now that I've relocated, I don't know if you can tell, but I've shifted this room around. And I'm wondering if I can find a part on the floor that doesn't squeak and make a lot of noise. I'm gonna take off my socks. Yeah, it's interesting. When I see people who do continuum, here's my toes, right? They can spread out all their toes. They can move their feet around. They have all sorts of articulation of their feet and toes. But sometimes I see even kids who've been dancing ballet and it's like their feet are all jammed up because they've been wearing shoes all the time, especially as they're dancing. Now, I've done a lot of ballet, but I also used to wear socks a lot when I was in class instead of ballet shoes. Yeah, we want our toes to be able to spread. Take it all the way down onto your back. Stretch your legs out. We're going to do a big circle, arm circle, looking down towards your feet, reaching up above your head. So exhale, and then inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Think of the breath moving through your whole body. Change direction. So deep cellular breathing. Exhale. Inhale, giving yourself permission to take up space, giving yourself permission to have big feet. Yeah. Inhale, open. Exhale, up. Inhale, open. So I think you have really tiny feet. I know there's people with really, really petite, tiny feet. One of my dancers also had tiny, tiny feet. Well, it's just, we have different things. Yeah.
Too small.
Too small. Feet on the floor, just drop from side to side. They're just the right size for you. Big, small.
I feel I don't balance well because my feet are too small.
Interesting. Shifting from side to side. Big spiral. It's funny, like ballet, that like this point shoes, right? We wanted balance on the tiniest surface possible. And I have to say, I love dancing on point. It is so much fun because it's such a challenge. But what a funny idea that we came to. And then come into center. And we're going to, let's use our block for this. Take your block. If you have a block, no block is also fine. If you have a block, I'm putting it like this in between my knees. I obviously have not found a part of the floor that does not creak. We're going to lift the pelvis up. And you're just going to sink one hip down about 2 inches or 4 inches. Inhale, lift, and then sink the other hip down. So inhale up, exhale, release slightly in one side. Inhale, lift, exhale, the other side dips. Press it up. Dipping one side, inhale up, dip the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Use your breath. Inhale. Your rhythm may be different than mine. So if it is, go with your own rhythm. Last one. And then take it down, roll it down through your spine all the way. I feel so much Western exercise has just overemphasized this like rigid pelvis, rigid abs, rigid core. That's not the healthiest place to be. So that's why I like to do those little dips where we're not just trying to lock it into one place, but we're having some movement. Take it down, hands on your knees and circle around. We have to work with some balance so that we're doing some of the really specific like stability work, but also the mobility work, change direction. And we want to do the exercises that have more form, but we also want to get those exercises that are really freedom-based, where you're discovering your own stuff in your body. And then stretch, happy baby, play around with it. Yeah, so after watching a whole bunch of Queer Eye, which I love because those guys are so nice and they're just doing good things for people. I have been cleaning up my house. Not that it's that messy, but it's like I have organized and ordered things more. I'm like, it feels good. Rolling back and forth. I don't think I'm a very good interior designer, but nor am I totally bad. I'm also kind of like, the walls are this like dark blue color in here. They were this color when we bought the house. And I thought that I would want to change it. But then once we moved in and we had our stuff in here, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of like it. So they have stayed. And they also, I feel like, are really good for the art that we have. Somehow they set it off nicely. All right, coming up onto your feet and hands. Inhale, press up, and exhale, fold. Let's take it, if you can take it all the way back, go for it. If not, and you're just folding with your butt to the floor, that's fine too. Inhale and exhale. Thinking about the forward motion of your pelvis. Pushing up. Last one. Pushing up from the back, pulsing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm really pushing into my arms. For me, actually, this exercise is much more about stretching the front of my deltoids than it is about getting the back of my body working a lot, although the back of my body is also working. So for me, it's more about staying more open in the front of my arms. Release it down. Take it all the way in, hands into your knees. Take a couple of big, deep sighs, like do the double sniff or the double breath. Let it go. See, the cat likes that too. Right? We like it when people relax. He just cooked himself on the heater, so he's really nice and toasty. And I moved the plant that he was eating that was the poisonous plant. And now it's a spider plant, which he's allowed to chew on. All right, let's do this. Oh, everybody said they wanted to do more hard stuff. So here, take the block, stick it in between your knees. If you don't have a block, then you're just going to stabilize your legs about hip distance apart. Hands behind your head. Exhale, roll up. Inhale, arch. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, open. Other side, roll it up. Inhale, arch. Roll it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Use your breath. Fill up the lungs. I'm trying to keep the back of my butt sort of even on the floor, although one hip is coming up a little bit more than the other. So we are getting that spiral. And as I said before, that I had that little bit of a tightness or an injury in the back of that rib on my left side, I can feel it when I do this exercise. So we want the tissue in our body to sort of get to move with diverse demands, diverse movement styles, diverse environments, diverse spatial challenges. And relax, take it down, take your block out. This mat sharing program, the kitty today he's got the carpet, so he's not on the mat today. Twisting from side to side. You can do this with bent knees or with straight legs. Yeah, I have my hand on his belly, and as my leg drops down, it's hitting him also, but he doesn't care. All right, bring that in, and let's go with another contralateral pattern. I always like to do this one. I feel like it's just a good exercise. Going 1, 2, 3. Try to touch your elbow to your knee. I'm not going to count. And relax. Turn your head from side to side, let it go. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, and then roll back and forth. Yeah, so this class, just to give you some perspective, isn't so much of a building class. This is not a burn type where I'm going to grow big muscles. This is really a maintenance class. This is, if you haven't been moving a lot, good entrance in. This is the ground force, the foundation. That's what, not the ground force. This is the foundation of what I need to do so that I can pole dance, so that I can do more extreme things. So this is like the let's not get injured when we do much harder things version of a class. But we are gonna, having said that, we are gonna do a little bit of weights. So grab your weights if you have them, 2 cans if you don't have them. Standing, seated, however you want to do it. Arms out to the side, just letting the hands come down and up. Going 1, 2. So like I like to think of this, it's more than an insurance policy because it is doing good things, but this is much more like toning your nervous system, giving you more access to feeling states in your body. So that's the somatic part. It's like taking in the whole body, not just parts, but one whole body working together, all the systems integrating. It's not so much like, okay, do this and suddenly, you know, you're going to have like big muscles, or now you can do something you couldn't do before. This is the prep so that you can do the harder things. And relax. Circle your shoulders, soften up that tissue, change direction. And come onto a forearm plank. I mean, there are some hard things in here, but it's like keeping your fascia fluent and fluid, hydrated, mobile, 3-dimensional access. It's not like a HIIT class where it's like high intensity training. We're not doing that. And you need to cross train. Like you need to, if you want to have gains where you're seeing change. Where do I see the change for me? When I'm pole dancing. That's pretty much the only place I really see it. In my cold training, can I do more? Let's take it into a forearm plank. 1 knee to the floor at a time. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the nutrition. 11, 12. Twisting underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and take it down. And occasionally we'll work a little bit more on things. But if you want more heavy action, bar burn on Thursdays will be much more strength-based and like work it hard. Hands next to your chest. Inhale, lift, and exhale. And then, of course, there's the somatic dance party that if you need some cardio and free movement and free thinking, that's on Friday. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale, connect your hands, lift, and then take it all the way back down. Now, if somebody hasn't been moving much, this is a good start. And this may be like a burn workout for them because they're not very much in shape. Round your spine, take it back to a child's pose and just wiggle around. Let it go. You can reach your arms out and then roll it back up. So of course, as soon as I've said that, now I want to challenge us and make it a little bit harder. So we're going to do some push-ups with a knee drop in the middle. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do tricep push-ups. So my elbow is coming into my side. And then I'm going to pop my knees off the floor into a plank. So knees are going to drop, down to the floor, up, press it up. Knees drop, down, up, plank. 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 Knees drop, down, up. 3 more. 2. Last one. From there, take it to a dog. Walk through your dog. Bend one knee, bend the other. And then take it down and circle your wrists, or figure 8 them. So I'm doing this kind of a figure 8. Feel free to stay in your dog longer if you need it. We're probably going to get up there anyway. Think of it like moving hand into wrist, into forearm, into upper arm, into a rotator cuff, into the collarbone, into the scapula. So this whole system is working together. If you've ever seen, what are they called? Those big flat things that I get stung by, stingrays. If you ever see how stingrays move, think of that movement. Like they have this sort of waving movement of their whole body, imagining that in your body, from your heart to your fingertips. Of course, this is a human version, but just connecting that out, let it go. And we're going to take it for, let's go with the one leg out to the side. Hands are going to be lined up so that you're making sort of a triangle with your knee, up and down with that leg. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch it to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back in, take one knee back behind you, flex your foot. Think of lengthening the front of your abdominals, and we're going to pulse the heel up. Parallel, going 1, 2, 3. I almost never do these exercises. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Switch it to the other side. Hello, butt. Parallel, knee to, make sure your hips are facing the floor. Pulsing up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and relax. Take it down. Onto your butt. Roll from one side to the other. Just massage out your glutes. So it's not to say that in this class, we won't ever do any burn stuff. It's just not the overarching theme of what this class is. Although I do love getting your feedback. So feel free always to say what you want. Like, it's good. If we don't say what we want, there's no way of getting it half the time. I feel like it's really important. So I totally appreciate your feedback and want to hear it. All right, let's take your legs out. Walk your butt from side to side, forward fold. Thinking of that 3-dimensional matrix of your fascia and just easing your body into it or inside of it. And as you're doing that, it's all squishing around, hydrating, connecting. And then come up, opening into a straddle. We'll do a straddle, then we'll do a hip stretch, and then we'll be done. From here, circles. Breathing. Yeah, so now letting your guts, your lower part of your torso, so reproductive organs, intestines, all those great things, getting to squish around and change direction the other way. And so I'm just going to say this because I find it so fascinating. Like in the movies, when people get injured in their guts and their guts come out. They're like sausages, right? But they're not like sausages. It's more like a seed fan with the sausages connect to the edge, because we have this thing inside called our mesentery, which keeps, this is connected. It's a big fascia holding that keeps our guts organized. So if you, if your belly opened up, they wouldn't fall out. Change direction if you haven't changed directions. And let's side stretch over to one leg, breathe. But it is a great image for cartoons and TV to have this idea of all these sausages spilling forward. Take it to face your leg. From there, walk it into center. I vacuumed yesterday, but then as soon as I was petting the cat here, I like see all of this hair coming off of him again. I'm like, that's the thing about cats. You gotta vacuum all the time. Side stretch on the other side, which is a good and a bad thing. Turn and face your leg. Walk it into center. Allowing yourself to kind of micro move in your stretch. So little micro movements, little adjustments inside the stretch are going to help that stuff open up, or you're going to really notice where it's tight by starting to add those little adjustments. And then push the floor away and come up. Bring your legs together. Bang them up and down. Let the tissue in the back of your calf, back of your hamstrings really soften. Ugh, relax your neck and jaw. Shake it out. Actually, in a lot of the breathing techniques, and I've studied now a bunch of different breathing techniques, but a lot of them have as a start. Start with a couple big sighs, because once we've done a couple of those big sighs, we've come in a little bit. If you're one of these more hyper aroused, one of these more up people. Let's cross one over the other. I feel like sighing is good for everybody. We breathe in more, and if we make noise, then there's some vibration on that exhale. If it's possible to fold your leg under and you're doing an ankle to knee pose, go for it. If you need to leave the bottom leg straight or lay on your back to do this stretch, that's also fine, just crossing one leg. So work with what feels good to you. Surrender, soften, melt. Hello, hips. Shoulders, neck, jaw, soft and loose. You can even do the like turning your head a little bit, finding the micro movement in that, adjusting, shifting. And then bringing it up and undoing it. Bang it out. Yeah, so I have a bunch of new things, not a bunch of new things, a couple of new things on my schedule. Feel free to check it out. Which leg was on top? I think it was that one. All right, switching it to the other side. This is where I go, oh, I did that one. That's the problem with my legs. There isn't a dominant leg. Like they feel the same to me. I can't tell which is which. And with my hands, yeah, I'm right-handed dominant. But that doesn't mean I always know which one it is. Take it forward. I got some kind of weird slight dyslexia in my right and left. Melting, softening. And then come up and unscramble, let it go. Bang it out. Rotate in and out. Relax. Let's slide our feet underneath. Take your butt up to the ceiling. Open your feet wide. Shift from side to side. Freeing up the spine. Rippling from your tail to your head. Coming into center. Give your head a shake. No. Nod yes. Wiggle your shoulders. And then bend your knees, roll it all the way up, coming up to the top. Inhale and open. And exhale and soften. Inhale, feeling the vertical. So let's just do a quick move through these planes again. So here's the vertical plane. This is mostly up, down with some side, side. This is very much about, the vertical is very much, if I make this gesture, hello, what am I referring to? Myself, right? This is a very me place, very, I present myself, I'm here, I'm strong in my vertical, I'm not collapsed in my vertical, but I'm expansive. And then the horizontal, let's just cycle through the horizontal, twisting. In this version of twisting, just free flow twisting, checking out the space around you. Pay attention to your neck for a second. Is your head and torso free? Are your eyes free? And then come back and let that go. And let's just gather and scatter through the horizontal. So gathering in, scattering out. And here we bring it into our heart. We share from our heart, in and out. So that's the horizontal plane, the horizon line. The sagittal plane is this forward and backward. So the plane, let's do the circle because of circling the arm in the sagittal plane. So circling one arm, and I'm just rocking forward and backward, letting myself move. So this is nice for the rotator cuff, feeling the relationship of your fingertips into your scapula, into your collarbones. You can change direction with that hand, cycling through the sagittal plane. The sagittal is mostly forward, backward with some up, down in the plane, in the way that we look at it. And then change it to the other side. So circling the other side, I've changed the leg that I have forward. And then change direction the other way. So one is kind of like bowling and the other one's like throwing. Big round movement, ball and socket joint in there, in the rotator cuff. Loves round movement. If it hurts, make it smaller. Put your hand on and just circle the elbow. So I just want to show you this really quick. So those were all the planes. If we take the planes and put them together, we come into this. This is the icosahedron. So like here, if I take these 4 points together, is the vertical plane. This is the vertical plane. If I take these 4 points, there's the horizontal plane. For me, this is the sagittal plane. So this shape is the outer points of all the planes put together. Here's the 4, my fingers now on the outside or on the outside of the 4 horizontal plane. I can go on the outside of the 4 vertical plane, and I can go on the outside of the 4 sagittal plane, front and back. There's my front and back. So just to throw that out to you, like this is geometric space, right? And we move within geometric space, and we can imagine that this is really supporting our movement. And this is what Laban did. Like there are scales of movement that go in this, which some of you guys know. Anyway, that is that. So I am going to stop recording. TV land. Yay! If you made it this far, woo! Yes, sparkle fingers. Always a good idea. This is clapping in, I think, in American Sign Language. So it's not just jazz hands. It's also clapping. And it's just sweet. It's sweet to see it. So feel free to blink out if you need to go, and I'm going to stop recording.